Kalos War, the Mega Timeline, the ultimate weapon, and the birth of one of the most destructive organizations since Team Galactic. The Pokemon world brews more and more chaos every day. All of this hatred and evil that clouds over the planet, even with some of the greatest heroes the world has ever seen, it's all in vain. What the Pokemon world needed wasn't a hero, they needed a savior. And a savior is what they got. My name is Pokey, and this is... Let's start the story where it first began. Over thousands of years ago, the greatest war in all of Pokemon began. One that not only caused the death of millions of lives, but also one that created the rift in what we know as the Mega Timeline and the non-Mega Timeline. This war was caused by the greed of humanity and was ended by one man. That man's name was AZ. AZ did not seek glory or fame. He did not seek any type of heroism either. His actions to end the war was so he could reunite with his Floette once again. During the Kalos War, his Floette tragically died in the midst of battle, and all AZ could do was mourn. And as we all know, anger never comes first. It's always derived by a different emotion. AZ was fueled by anger and madness, which had him create the ultimate weapon. This weapon would go on to create a mass genocide of life on Earth, and all that would remain would be the scent of blood. But in the end, AZ was reunited with his Floette. But after seeing the price he had to pay to do it, the Floette left AZ never to be reunited until 3,000 years later. But what AZ didn't realize is that he didn't just cause a wave of mass destruction, but a rift in space-time, a split of timelines itself, ones with Mega Evolution and ones without. It would be this huge mistake that would lead to yet another catastrophe. 3,000 years have passed and the Kalos region is better than ever. People across the globe have united to create and build this peace. And there are also other people that have yet to see how their stories will unfold. Our future heroes. Within this group are Ash, Serena, Clement, and Bonnie. Now on the surface it may seem that these are just average people. One strives to become a Pokemon master, one wants to enlighten people's days with performances, the other wants to create inventions to help guide humanity. And then there's this one that collects a silly little green bin. Their journeys continued for much longer, but although they didn't realize it yet, the Kalos region was about to reach yet another wave of mass destruction. But this time, it wouldn't be by one man, but an entire army led by the most horrific mortal the world has ever seen since the rupture of space-time in Sinnoh. And this army, this organization, was known as Team Flare, and was owned by a Shadow of the King 3,000 years ago. His name was Lysandre. During a campout of our four heroes, the silly little green bean that was with Bonnie left our heroes for some odd reason. Our little friend seems to be sensing something, and in fact it was something very dangerous. Our heroes catch up with this little green bean and meet up with Team Flare. For some odd reason, Team Flare is after the harmless green creature under Bonnie's care, and under all that crossfire, the green bean gets lost and Team Flare goes out to find it. Team Flare begins searching and finally found this little green creature. But it wasn't this creature that was in danger, but Team Flare themselves. After all, this isn't just some random Pokemon, but an entity, or should I say, a savior. Team Flare was unsuccessful in capturing the core. It is then revealed to us that the green creature they were after wasn't just some average Pokemon, but rather a being with immense power. This creature is known as a core to a much more powerful entity, and to gain strength it uses the power of cells scattered across the earth to change into a much more powerful state. But then that raises several questions. Why does Team Flare want this core? How is this little thing that's taken such a liking to Bonnie become so attached to her? And how is it so powerful? Well, we answer that now. Lysandre was a man who sought to keep the world as beautiful as can be. He would always help people in need, but also wouldn't hesitate to dispose of people he thought could threaten his ideal world. His team, known as Team Flare, helped obtain a secret weapon using the energy from a different Zygarde core, as well as the mega energy absorbed from a trainer named Alon, who used his mega ring to absorb the mega energy of other trainers. With this, he created a replica of the once extinct ultimate weapon. Anything it touched would not only cause catastrophe and decimation, but would also corrupt those who dared to stand against it. Our heroes who sought to stand against Lysandre found themselves in a terrible situation, and to make matters worse, the weapon didn't just hit all of Lumio City, but also corrupted the green creature who stood alongside Bonnie. The core, who had transformed into an even greater form, was now an enemy of the Kalos region. Was there nothing else they could do? That's right. Even with the corruption from Team Flare, the green creature named Squishy by Bonnie was now free from their control. And it was all because of the bond Bonnie formed with Squishy along their journey. This Pokemon had reached a pinnacle of power all on its own. And as our heroes headed to the final battle against Lysandre in order to stop him once and for all, they knew they couldn't stop his assault. After all, the construct he had was on an equal playing field with Squishy's 50% form. Lysandre knew a lot about Squishy. He was a core of a greater power capable of transforming depending on the amount of cells it absorbed. So far, 10% and 50% were the only states Squishy could enter. Lysandre knew that his construct could even surpass the core at 50%. Our heroes knew they were cooked. But as Squishy entered the battle, there was one thing that Lysandre had forgotten, that even in the darkest depths of evil, does order truly shine.
Wrapped in biting wind, hearts will never bleed. Out of greed, in their restless dreams, try so hard to breathe. Pulses flutter and sting. In their weakness.
Defender of order! We will show them our full power!
And still, you hid this form? You must have been seeing the world in the same way I was. The unlimited greed of humans has sent the world spinning into chaos. Have you not felt that? If I had not raised my objections, the world would continue on its warped path. But now you choose to appear. What could possibly be left to defend? You have no right!
If it is a right you speak of, this world belongs to them! I have placed my hopes in humanity. They have always protected me. They kept their promise not to leave my side. Now it is my turn!
Pain will come with the pain. Pain will
Yes, after the death of Lysandre left Team Flare in shambles, Squishy also revealed to have a name. Zygarde had reached a new level of power alongside its other core. Its new form was 100% of their true potential. Its purpose was to maintain balance and order across the planet, and he used Bonnie and our heroes to find new threats looming across the Kalos region. The errors of AZ were finally cleansed, and order was brought upon the Kalos region once again. Or at least, I wish it was that simple. We now find ourselves in the Alola region, where new people take up the mantle of heroes and try to stop a new great evil known as Necrozma. Necrozma is a being like no other, someone who has the power to absorb light energy from other entities. The legendary Pokemon in order to stop Necrozma were Lunala and Solgaleo, but because their essence is made up of light energy, both of them were absorbed and robbed of their power, which gave birth to the most powerful legendaries since the Sinnoh region. Our hero's son was told by the Ultra Recon Squad of Necrozma that his powers would be capable of destroying the entirety of Ultra Space. Ultra Space is a dimension which houses an infinite number of parallel universes, similar to the Mirror Dimension. If he destroys all of Ultra Space and the planet in which he stands upon, there would be no more Pokemon. The future of the entire planet, its timelines, its universes, the entire multiverse in which Pokemon exists is at stake. And when this threat became Ultra Necrozma, Sun was the only one who could stop him. But he knew even if he had all the Pokemon at his disposal, it wouldn't be enough. After all, this is a multiversal level threat. But what Sun did not realize was that when the world's balance is ever threatened, there would be one being who stands against that evil, be it a god or a mortal. The world didn't need a hero, they needed a savior. And that savior was Earth's mightiest defender. Who would win, the king of Ultra Beasts or the defender of the ecosystem?
Dreams got burned and dust when our hearts started to rust. But we took a chance in circumstance to find the light. Now we're starting back from scratch, building flames from tiny sparks until the sun burns away. We're going back to paradise. We're going back to making dumb mistakes. Enough of being terrified. Thinking this could be the way of life. Turn it up, 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 till your body won't stop. Loud, loud, louder, take. We're going back to paradise. So you can with the silence. To hell with the silence. We love and love, we pay. To trade, believe again. So say goodbye, protect it. We're going back to paradise. We're going back to making dumb mistakes. Enough of being terrified and thinking this could be the way of life. Turn it up, 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 till your body won't stop. Loud, loud, louder, take. We're going back to paradise. So kill the silence. So kill the silence.
After the harsh battle, Zygarde came out on top. He not only saved Kalos, not just the planet, but the entire multiverse. Even after being controlled, even after being hurt by humans, he would still selflessly stand against evil and maintain order and justice. He was once shown kindness, and even now, vows to protect the balance of the world even at the cost of his own life. This is the story of a being who was made in the perfect image of the original one, made to protect the multiverse at any and all costs. His name was Zygarde, the defender of order.